Louisiana State Penitentiary sits on 18,000 acres of land in West Feliciana Parish. It occupies a bend of the Mississippi River. Water borders it on 3 sides. Farmland fills the rest. The location is deliberate. Distance limits escape. Isolation limits oversight. The prison's name comes from Angola, the African region where enslaved people forced to work this land once came from. Before it is a prison, it is a plantation. That history never disappears. The penitentiary opens in 1901. The state of Louisiana purchases the former plantation and converts it into a penal colony. From the beginning, incarceration and labor are linked. Prisoners work the fields. They raise crops and livestock. They maintain the land. Armed guards supervise from horseback. The structure mirrors the plantation system that existed before emancipation. Control is enforced through distance, violence, and exhaustion. Angola grows into the largest maximum security prison in the United States. It holds thousands of men. Most are serving life sentences. Many are there for decades. Some die inside the perimeter. Release is rare. Parole is uncommon. For most inmates, Angola is not a step in a process. It is the final destination. If stories like this matter to you, consider subscribing, because what happens next reveals how this system truly works. For much of the 20th century, Angola is defined by brutality. Violence is common. Murders occur inside the walls with regular frequency. Stabbings, beatings, and assaults are routine. In some periods, inmate deaths outnumber those in many other prisons combined. The institution gains a reputation as one of the most dangerous places in America. Guards hold near total power. Oversight is minimal. External scrutiny is rare. Abuse goes unreported. When it is reported, consequences are limited. Prisoners have little legal recourse. Medical care is inconsistent. Mental health treatment is largely absent. Living conditions vary by era, but neglect is a constant theme. Racial segregation shapes daily life. Black prisoners make up the majority of the population. White prisoners often receive preferential treatment. Work assignments, housing, and discipline reflect racial hierarchies rooted in the prison's plantation origins. These patterns persist for decades, reinforced by custom rather than written policy. Angola operates as a closed world. Internal systems govern survival. Inmate hierarchies form. Some prisoners gain power through force. Others through cooperation with guards. Informal economies develop. Protection is traded. Violence enforces order when official control fails. The state allows these dynamics to exist, sometimes encourages them, and rarely intervenes unless order collapses. Life sentences define the culture. More than half of the population is serving life without parole for much of the prison's history. This reality changes behavior. Long-term incentives disappear. Rehabilitation loses relevance. Education programs exist sporadically, but hope of release is minimal. The message is clear. Angola is where sentences end. The land itself reinforces that message. Prisoners work outdoors in the Louisiana heat. Summer temperatures rise. Humidity presses down. Fields stretch across the horizon. Labor is physically demanding. Injuries are common. For years, compensation is non-existent. Refusal to work brings punishment. The workday structure resembles earlier forced labor systems more than modern correctional models. During the mid-20th century, Angola reaches a peak of violence. Multiple wardens come and go. Policies change on paper, but conditions remain harsh. Weapons circulate inside the prison. Murders occur in dormitories and fields. Some inmates are killed over minor disputes. Others over power struggles. Many cases go unsolved. Guard staffing is often inadequate. Training is limited. Corruption exists. Some officers profit from contraband. Others rely on inmate enforcers to maintain control. This arrangement reduces direct confrontation but increases internal violence. Responsibility for order shifts from the institution to the strongest prisoners. The prison's remoteness shields it from public attention. Journalists rarely visit. Advocacy groups have limited access. Families travel long distances to visit loved ones. For many, regular visitation is impossible. The distance weakens outside connections. Inmates become easier to forget. Legal challenges begin to change Angola slowly. In the 1970s, federal courts intervene. Lawsuits exposed unconstitutional conditions. Judges order reforms. The prison is forced to address overcrowding, medical neglect, and abuse. Progress is uneven. Resistance from administrators is common. Change comes slowly, under pressure rather than initiative. One of the most significant shifts occurs in the 1990s. Leadership changes. The administration emphasizes order and control through formal systems rather than inmate rule. Violence decreases. Homicide rates drop. Security improves. These changes reduce chaos, but they do not eliminate the core structure of permanent incarceration. Life sentences remain the norm. Educational and religious programs expand, but release remains unlikely. Angola becomes known as a place where men grow old together. Wheelchairs appear in cell blocks. Hospice care develops, staffed partly by inmates. Prisoners care for dying prisoners. Death becomes routine, not exceptional. The prison cemetery fills steadily. Graves are marked with numbers rather than names for many years. Families often cannot afford burial elsewhere. Angola becomes a place where punishment extends beyond life itself. The land that once held enslaved labor now holds generations of incarcerated men. Angola's economy relies on inmate labor. The prison is largely self-sustaining. Crops grown by prisoners feed the population. Livestock raised on the grounds generates revenue. Maintenance is performed internally. This reduces costs for the state. It also reinforces the expectation that prisoners work regardless of sentence length. Critics describe Angola as a modern plantation. Supporters argue that it provides structure and safety. Both perspectives exist simultaneously. The prison's size and isolation make it difficult to compare directly to other institutions. It operates on a scale unlike most American prisons. The death row unit draws national attention. Executions are carried out in Louisiana, though the pace varies by decade. Inmates on death row live under strict conditions. Appeals last for years. Some sentences are overturned. Others end in execution or natural death. The process is slow and procedural. Angola also hosts the Louisiana State Penitentiary rodeo. Inmates participate in events open to the public. Spectators attend. Merchandise is sold. Supporters say it humanizes prisoners and funds programs. Critics see it as exploitative. The event highlights the tension between public visibility and incarceration. Religion plays a significant role inside the prison. Churches operate on the grounds. Seminaries train inmate ministers. Faith-based programs provide structure for some prisoners. Participation varies. For some, religion offers purpose. For others, it changes little about daily reality. Despite reforms, Angola remains defined by permanence. Most prisoners enter knowing they will never leave. This fact shapes every interaction. Time loses meaning. Years blend together. The prison becomes a lifelong environment rather than a temporary sentence. The surrounding community depends economically on the prison. Jobs are tied to its operation. Generations of families work there. This relationship complicates reform efforts. Closing or downsizing Angola would affect livelihoods beyond its walls. Public perception shifts over time. Early narratives focus on violence and chaos. Later narratives emphasize order and stability. Both are accurate in different periods. Neither fully captures the experience of permanent incarceration. Angola's story is inseparable from American history. It reflects the transition from slavery to incarceration as a means of control. It shows how punishment replaces rehabilitation when sentences remove the possibility of return. It demonstrates how isolation allows systems to persist without scrutiny. Today, Angola is quieter than it once was. Violence is lower. Structures are more formal. But the core reality remains unchanged. Thousands of men live and die on the same land, under the same sentence, with limited hope of release. The prison stands as a symbol, not of chaos alone, but of endurance. Of a system designed to hold people until the end of their lives. Of punishment rooted in history and sustained by policy. Angola does not exist apart from society. It reflects decisions made over generations. What happens inside its fences is legal. It is sanctioned. It is funded. It continues because it is allowed to continue. Angola is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate choices about crime, punishment, and permanence.